The Mango Malibu? What are you talking about? Alright, fuck this. Didn't talk. Oh, Momocon. Oh, Barbarian. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you finished that shit, dude. You 100% finished that shit. Single-handedly. Hello. John Wayne. Welcome back for the 18 months. Yeah, it looks like you had a good time. That's fine. Hello, Yasa. This is a big spook. I don't know. We're about to find out. Oops. Okay, so whenever I alt tab, it does that. That's fine. Thank you, Son of the D. Hello, Wamba. Trappy. What happened in Dead Space? I'll do that later. Eat Dead Space, dude. Dead Space sucks.
Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level from Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like
is Counter-Strike.
Starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town. He then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this
is. This a thinking game?
And that's exactly what we're going to do.
Am I going to be thinking a lot?
So, it's 2008.
These boxes are black.
Games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet. He just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse.
This guy sucks at making games.
He jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made. Until suddenly one day, he just stopped.
Because he sucked.
That was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since.
Because he sucks. Turn on subtitles. Can I do that? Closed captioning. Not subtitles. Laptop. I don't always say laptop power saving, but
this opportunity to gather all of his work together is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who...
It's not working. Was it because he was still talking?
Play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com.
You got that, guys?
Okay, that's about it for introduction.
Yep.
Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
What the fuck, dude? Ah.
Warning. Whisper machine active. Shift destruction imminent.
It's a real
This
game
is
now?
called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Shh. Okay.
You can click to fire the gun.
I know you. Okay. And reload it. Are they all made in Source? They're all made in Source. So dark.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
Uh-oh. Aliens?
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin shoot evacuation.
I didn't do anything.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
This guy stopped making games because he probably sucked at it, dude. Is this really... You have to make a game about this? Do you have to rip on this developer?
Apparently this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Hey, look, I made it anyways.
This is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the Whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Okay. This dude made this game just to make fun of this guy who like was just probably inventing.
You there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the Whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam.
My body.
To ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Okay, dude.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
You respawn? What the fuck?
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Dude, why are you ripping on this guy? Just let him make his games. Maybe he's a... What? Okay, maybe this is a scary game. Maybe this does take a turn for the worse. I can't move. I can only jump.
So try walking backwards.
What? Why can...
In this game, you can only walk backwards.
What? Are you stupid? Okay, dude. Wait, what?
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Code is trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
When she stops and looks, it becomes clear. Okay, this dude is clearly struggling with like a girlfriend or something. Maybe this is. But if the future is always behind her. This dude just in love. How will she find the strength to love, to confront it? Okay.
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick.
It doesn't work.
Okay, next one.
It doesn't. Okay. Okay, dude. You're now entering Silent Hill. Is this Silent Hill? You're now entering.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting. Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
There's only one thing to do here. Go up the staircase. And then the game probably ends because this dude has a psychological problem. What is that noise? I'm getting slower.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
What? You're a gate. You're the queen, Dustin.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
You walk around talking to people from pursuing their hopes and dreams. He plays a loud, bodiless sound, walking around confusing people.
He didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant
Stand on an
compassionate
X staring at a
person.
bear for 3 hours. That's a good
It takes
game.
time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Mr. Dress and rally a group of eager press reporters. A game of only posters and concept art showing what the game is intended to be. Okay. Yes, Disco. They said this game would mindfuck me, but so far, I'm just confused.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Wow. Can you believe it? Is there another lever in here? It's so fucking dark.
Don't forget that solution,
Wow.
because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. we're gonna see it a lot.
What is this? Can I jump? Okay. Can I get back on there? Nope.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Why? This is Minecraft?
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
This guy clearly has an issue. And oh, this game again. You're now entering. You're now exiting.
Aha. So this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
This guy has a crush on this Coda, man. Just leave him alone. Let him make his fucking little games. The fuck?
Let's talk about video game development for a second.
No.
Every video
You've done
game
this.
runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly.
Yes.
One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Dude, what the fuck? This guy was just trying to raise money to enter the psych ward, dude. Uh-oh. Oh. You got a link for your ACT background? Yes. DM me. This guy could have made a horror game or some shit. Probably would have worked out. What the fuck? What?
This prison Funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go.
What?
If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
No. I don't like this game anymore.
About a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a...
You have autism, dude. What the fuck? You mean you played every single one of those? What? They both have problems. Both these men have fucking problems.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time.
Are you serious?
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over.
Spoilers, dude.
I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
I mean, so far your interpretations have left me and yourself with more questions than answers. If you could spare it, that'd be fine. You there,
Coda
did you?
begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Did you get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yeah. Tell us the solution. None of these are real. We finally find the black space between the doors would be far more interesting. Have you seen it yet? Why would I care about the space between the doors? What is this, dude? There's a reason, but it may take time before you understand, which is fine. You'll see it again soon. Dude.
So we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Is this game gonna make me cry? It's gonna be one of those... The narrator was dead all along, or some shit. It's a lamp?
It's a lamppost.
Yes.
Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really...
This guy's thinking way too hard into this.
With no clear purpose.
Then just leave it at that.
Only float around in that headspace for so long.
There, period. And
now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is.
That's your name, Hyperbomb? Dakota?
We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, That idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Oh, the K. Coda's also the person who sings the JoJo second opening. Like a bloody storm, Atsuku like a bloody storm. Do, 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 do. This game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. Dark Souls? Nice room. Not. What the fuck? Is that a player?
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy.
What?
I was over enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very...
He wrote all of this? All of these notes?
Pulled off eventually.
Oh my god, dude. He... he...
Feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness.
This dude...
I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Let's go
but
music.
It's ironic,
No.
that in playing this game
No
and
music.
seeing how alone Coda often felt,
Working.
that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less
Same, dude.
Messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work.
Maybe...
This is why I always liked Coda's games so much.
Maybe he just legit had social anxiety or shit. Butt-ass butt.
Felt as
Okay.
though he was inviting me personally into his world.
I need to go to the freaking
And then I
bathroom.
feel less lonely too.
Recognize me, please. Dude, oh my god. This dude... This is gonna end tragically. There's nothing here. Go back. Don't listen to that guy. A free t-shirt. Need another side door. Why you so... Door how open? Open sesame. Mixed game includes door. Cannot open door. Thanks. Okay. Someday I'll meet the person who made this. But you wrote all this. You try to debate people into thinking these are players. No player. You wrote so many of them. Dude. Oh man. What the fuck? This dude is so sad. Are you... Oh. Can't even jump. Cabbage shapes our nation. This is gonna end with Coda's suicide or something. This dude's gonna be so... He's looking for purpose in his games, and Coda's just like making this to vent. And like... try to survive against his fucking depression or whatever. And this guy just bugs him about what's the purpose of this, and he's like, stop faking it, see? Hey guys, I'm just hanging. Help, I'm trying to speak. We will all die someday. Yep. I don't know, but I'm not spoiling it. I'm just thinking what's gonna happen. Well, I'm here now. Yeah, we're all here now. Must be a reason for it. Terrible secret. I beat the game. More room?
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In each of his
It's not that deep.
After exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on. And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive...
This dude wishes that many people played his shit game. Talk to me, please. Why are you having so much difficulty talking? Speak, speak, speak. Porn stars die too.
This one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Why is this game called that? What is this? Hello? So, closet. Oh. Not a closet. I don't like this music. This is kind of unsettling. So well.
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway.
Why?
Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture.
Wait, now I'm stuck here?
But he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Version 2. I have to go to the well. What furniture ought to go in the center of the room? What? It's a coffee table. 3. Put a giant hole in the ground. Okay. That seems about right. Okay, what about along the wall? Put a huge picture of a horse. Okay. Alright. I think we should light up this room a bit. We'll put live Tesla coils in each corner. Okay, that's a good one. And a table, you need a table. Tables were invented in 1935. Is that true? Pretty sure it's not true.
There's a bit more to this one, but still it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake. So okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Hello, please walk forward. I kind of don't want to. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Now, welcome back, Kino. Any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully. Take care that you remember each step. First, click on this table. Good. Go over to the photo frame and click to turn it slightly. Now turn the floor lamp in this room off, then turn it back on. Floor lamp? Now go to the left side sofa and move it over a little. Finally touch the shelves. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison?
What the fuck?
But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going. And then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Welcome to the club, buddy.
Thank you, Kino. Dude, what the fuck?
Welcome to the club, buddy.
Hello? Who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm you from after you escaped the prison. You're me? I'm me. So you were trapped in this prison too? Yep, I was in the furniture maze.
It's a conversation.
Wait.
And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows.
That's where I am right now. Oh, I'm so glad to know that I get out eventually.
Still talking to yourself.
What's it like to escape?
All of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Wait, what? Why is it hard to read the text? Why does the game look like that? What the fuck? The game's half transparent. That's what was happening. That's weird as fuck. How long has it been since you got out? But this is the worst, most desperate thing I've ever been through. How could you possibly forget it? Anything can seem infinite when you're drenched in it. Wait, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? No, I think I'm the first person to call back. Then can you tell me how to get out? Maybe I can come find you. What do I have to do? Okay, no, I didn't. That will free me? How does that work? Listen, you can't know until you're out. Just talk to me. Okay, I can talk. Let's just talk for a bit. Will you be here?
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Let me get somebody to make me an icon for my 100k badge like you asked. Alright. I got you, Kino. Just let me know.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the 2 doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
What the fuck? Oh my goodness, I'm glad it's all heck you showed up. Thought I might have been cleaning the entire house for myself. Right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows lonesome hands make lousy homes.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Could you please clear the table? Much nicer. That's the table I want to see. Now would you please run to the bedroom and make the bed? While you're in there, why don't you straighten out the rug a bit? And dragged me along at a time when I was particularly desperate for cash. Turns out I've never felt so good doing something for money in my whole life. Never did like cleaning my own home. I might get some demons. Well, speaking of demons, someone put this couch all in a mess. Would you come out and straighten these pillows? Oh dear, looks like someone spilled a drink over by the couch. You compared to Shell an incredibly cheesy personal incident. Are you okay with that? Okay. No. No, it was stupid. Sorry. Never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come do that? Last I checked, the tub needed a cleaning. How about you scrub it down as best you can? Are there still books scattered on the floor of the bedroom? How can you see from there? How come you completely wait?
This house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing.
I did this already.
It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Whatever work you do, you have absolutely got to own it, otherwise it owns you. So now will we be with the task at hand and leave the future chores to future you. Present you wants to smooth out the rug in the bedroom, believe it or not.
I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Earlier when I said I had a really cheesy thought, I was gonna say that it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. You take care of it and it takes care of you. Haha. Don't know why I felt so weird about saying that. It's a weird thing to say, dude. Anyway, so housekeeping. Let's do this. Books. Would you please clean up the books? Oh my god. Can I do this from this side? No. Oh goodness, those pillows.
I'm glad he made
This is not peace. Are you stupid? Question.
But
do you enjoy
of course,
this?
It
What?
can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
What the fuck? Did you recommend this guy some, like,
Which is the whole point
therapy?
of puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
Items you love at members
This one
only
gets a
prices.
bit goofy.
Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. You came here to become perfect. This workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person's a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your own life? Who do you know who is so well developed as a person that they make you feel disgusted with yourself? Compared to whom you feel so useless, selfish, ungrateful. I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. And the question is not how do we do it, but how do we do it effortlessly? This is easy. It is so easy. It is so easy.
About halfway through the game,
Being perfect
perspective
is
shifts.
effortless.
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
What's happening, dude? This is the key. How do I achieve it with no effort? Well, let me tell you right now. It isn't effortless. Wait, what the fuck is these dialogue choices? I still love you. It's just that you make me feel cold on the inside. Drinking is not hurting my life. Do you understand that you won't be happy until you love me? Can't see the dialogue options now? Aw. Yeah. You're right. Anyone want to do some ecstasy after this? Hell yeah, dude. Do what is easiest. Do what is simplest. Feel what is true. Nothing. No one.
I fell pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have.
How is this relatable?
Assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days.
You have problems. Both of you have problems.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Could these be called games? Is this a game? At what point does it constitute a game? What is this, stage? This scene you will be playing as me. We are at a gathering of professionals. First you will start out leaning against this wall. Good, stay right there. The woman across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello? Hello? That's it? Well, the other options. That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. You are all my hopes and dreams. No, no, no. That's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need better feel of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. Now talk to her again. What? Are any of these the correct choice? I bet you learned to lean into the pain. You're messing it all up again. You'll freak her out if the conversation gets personal that quickly. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. It's game over. What is this, dude? Am I sad? Okay.
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from your game. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Mobius Trip. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. Okay, so if my eyes are closed, how the fuck am I supposed to know that there's a... That's the door.
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
Is there actually a solution? Do I have to pilot this shit? Oh my god, dude. That's the wrong one. Can't keep making these. Yes, that's it. That's the truth. I'm out of ideas.
Like I said, I was getting concerned.
Keep
First
going,
off,
keep talking.
He's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
Dude, what the fuck?
His games are going to get more desperate from here on out.
I don't
After
like
this
this.
game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Took him this long to worry? Dude. Hello, where am I? Where did this island come from? Is that a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. I am. I'm completely out of ideas. Is this me with YouTube videos? Coda? Am I Coda? Is this a euphemism for me? Is this a you were Coda all along game? There's a machine that kept me going and it stopped. I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me and start it again. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. You have to take me to it. I can do that, but there's a problem. It's guarded by a difficult puzzle. If you can help me solve the puzzle, we found the machine.
Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for? Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on. You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way.
No, that's how you drink it.
You
drink yourself out of it.
Questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
Dude, what the fuck? Dude, this guy has issues.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about, and I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me. I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop. But it didn't stop.
There's someone in there.
After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
7 months, dude? May 2011. Ma'am, glad to see you arrived safely, but I'm a guy. You captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can be in the interrogation whenever you like. I tend to be quick. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention from this one. Also, one more thing you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. Okay, dude. Is any human being this self-aware?
And of course, it's the machine.
I've been so alone. Apologize for leaving me. Think carefully, I know how to hurt you. It's literally just a machine. My friends, I have a troubling revelation. The machine will not apologize to us. We will find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us show it that we are not failures. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. We'll destroy the machine. What the fuck, dude?
Remember, you can click to fire the gun.
Yes, I know that. What is there to shoot at, though? Can I get off the stage? This is so meta, dude.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other humans.
This is the most gameplay this game has had.
Would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work? So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Dude, what is this fucking game? Down your weapon. That's the opposite of putting it down. Wait, is he gonna kill himself?
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something, I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy.
Both.
So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower. And to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
Both the narrator and Coda need some therapy.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
Are any of these games?
This room actually has a maze in it. except that all the walls of the maze are invisible.
That's
And
cool,
then
dude.
every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Yeah. Fuck that, dude. What is this soundtrack? Is this like some porn?
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze? The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code.
Are you kidding me?
Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Why? Why did you do this? Fuck. How were you? You know, this game might be like no gameplay, but it's like narrative or like story at least. Like I like that, but fuck, dude. There's nothing to do.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress.
That's fair,
It's
dude.
scary for me. The idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that. Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is.
Dude, what is
It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his
the
work,
narrator is sounding more and more
suddenly
crazy?
none of them. I had been trying
Is this a
to.
real
That
person?
was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood
Is this real?
I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't. I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else.
Okay.
I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left. And it felt somehow like I had failed.
Because you annoyed him, dude. Probably making his...
Where did I screw up?
You sound like a clingy fucker. Probably done with your shit. Or he got a wife and that's it. Dude.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I?
You guys don't speak to me anymore?
I poisoned it for you.
I wonder at times whether you think I was making the games for you?
And I was showing it to people. It actually felt... It felt as though I were responsible for something important.
You infected my personal space. It's possible that I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere.
They treated me like I was important.
There was an answer, meaning would it make you any happier?
About what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, it was... I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
Giving them something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps me safe. Would you stop changing my games? Stop adding lampposts to them? Wait. That he wasn't adding the lampposts? What the fuck? Who was adding the...
And you stopped. And I didn't have anything left to show people.
I'm around you, I feel physically ill. You desperately need something and I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it.
Nothing.
Trying to come up with a new idea is not making me depressed. Low points are just part of the process. The fact that you think I'm frustrated or broken says more about you than about me. Oof. What the fuck, dude? I realize that this doesn't just make sense to you just yet. Which is fine, you're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks and that you make peace with this thing you are wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
Me either, dude, but not for this reason. And when you finally see that what I'm talking about, don't say anything.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work.
Oh shit.
Because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize...
What am I playing? You just did it again.
Will you start making games again?
You just released this.
I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in.
This has thousands of downloads.
Well, is something wrong with me?
Yes.
Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was
I don't like this anymore. Stop narrating.
I don't know.
Get me out of here.
But there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please.
I'm not involved, dude. I'm just this is Friday night.
Some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself.
Okay, please. This is not my problem.
I'm fading. And all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
I didn't buy this for this. Oh my god. Is he still here? Dave? Listen, man, I need you to calm down.
More.
I need you to
love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more.
You need to settle down, alright?
It's like a disease.
Dude, this is the fucking station from part 5. What the fuck? This is literally the arena from Eyes of Heaven, part 5. Wait, am I leaving?
Solution. Solution. Solution.
What the fuck? That was like some Iron Keep Dark Souls 2 transition there.
I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate.
You
I
look.
have told so many people that he was depressed.
You look too deep into it, man.
Just likes making prisons.
Maybe. Fuck it, dude. You should have left it at that. Let him do his shit. People smoke. Let him smoke.
Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
I mean, it'll come out one way or another. You don't have to show how shitty of a person you are. People find out. What is this? A mirror? Now what? But he told us that Koda was adding the lamppost, and apparently he wasn't. Dave was adding the lampposts.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
Is this what game? Is this one of Koda's games, or did he make this in his fucking crying baby rage?
What now?
That's now what? I don't know, dude.
I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna...
Bye.
Okay.
Have a beer, dude, or something. I don't know. Just chill. You need to settle down. I feel like this should not have gone this far deep. Is this Koda real? Is this a real person? Is this story real? Did a game developer have a friend just like fuck his shit everywhere? Because it feels like it could be real. Like a game developer has a friend who just drives him crazy. And like they fight. And then the person is so desperate. People are sad enough to make a game to say sorry to someone. If people can do smoke signals or like, I don't know, like right in the sky to propose to people, some people might do that to say sorry too. And that includes making a game on Steam just to say sorry to someone. You never know. It could be real, dude. The stories of the narrator himself framed as someone else's story. Well, the games were bizarre. None of them were games. It's the beam. Will I float or will I die? What the fuck?
Turn back from this cave.
What do you mean for? This project would not have been possible with the following individuals. Is this real? What was the point of this? They wrote a song for this game. It's not real. If you read the real Davey Warden's blog, the entire story seems to be a metaphor for some emotional problems he was having after the Stanley Parable came out. What's my time on this game? I'm 9 minutes over 2 hours. Unlucky, dude. Is that it? I was expecting like a horror, kind of like a psychological game. I don't want no jump scare shit, dude. I really don't. I just want a game that'll make me think. This made me think a little bit, but not a lot. And I didn't think it was gonna be so short. Bro, Doom VR, okay. What about Dear Esther? Esther. You have 2 friends who play Dear Esther. Please no, please no. Yes, yes, nope. Oh no. Same as this. Oh. I wouldn't mind a walking sim if it had some tangible story. This one kind of had it. Like, I understood. The dude was like, and then there was the big debate at the end. That's fine. But like,